Hello everyone, I am back again so soon. I was asked if I could do a makeup tutorial of the Pantone of the year, which is Mocha Mousse, which is a kind of, do I have a sample of it anywhere? This sort of tone. This one here, can you see it? A Mocha Mousse basically. So I thought I would grab, I've done loads of sampling on my hand, I have rubbed it a bit, to kind of come together with some colours that would work using this look. Obviously, if you have darker skin, if you have lighter skin, you may have to adapt the colours slightly. I will try to suggest brands that do a lot of colours or that will, or other colours that would work for you. Yeah, let's crack on and get started. I'm going to start with foundation because a lot of the products that I'm using shouldn't have too much fall down. I've gone for products that should stay put pretty well, so I can start with foundation without worrying that that's going to get ruined. So number 7, Stay Perfect Foundation. This one is in Deeply Beige. We will see if it's the right colour. I've been on holiday and my skin's a little bit more tanned, well actually quite a bit more tanned, even though I wear SPF 50. You can't stop the sun from getting you. So this one, let's give it a go. The reason I've gone for this foundation is it goes on beautifully, but it also has this matte, demi-matte finish. And if you watch the Golden Globes, then I felt like people had a little bit more coverage, this kind of flatter, soft canvas finish to their makeup, which I really enjoyed. I love a glowy makeup, I love a light base, and it suits me for my age, and obviously it suits most people, but I'm kind of craving something a little bit more, but still almost like a porcelain doll. So that's what I want my skin to be like. If you watch the Lindsay Lohan video that I did recently, it's that sort of finish. I'm just using a sponge because it doesn't apply quite as much product, and I can build the product with a brush afterwards should I want to. I really do like this foundation. It's one of those ones that when I take it off at the end of the night, I'm like, oh, my skin still looks really good. It's a really good coverage, long-lasting foundation. Base is done. Let's let that marinate while we move on to eyes. Okay, I'm going to go for a liquid silk eyeshadow. This one is a Lisa Eldridge one. Whilst I was looking for products which matched the colour I wanted, quite a lot of the Lisa Eldridge colours really hit this colour tone. So I've chosen a few Lisa Eldridge products. This one is in the colour Gaia. No, Gaia. Gaia? Oh, I'm so dyslexic, I'm sorry. It's G-A-I-A. Gaia? I'm going to take a synthetic brush and just buff that in. I'm more focusing on the outside of it to buff the inside. If that makes sense? Because that colour can stay quite strong, but I do want the outsides to just buff away a little bit. And that will set before too long, and I won't have to worry too much about moving it or disturbing it. Brands that I know do things similar to this are Vive. They have a stick shadow. MAC have their paint pots, and Victoria Beckham have matte stick eyeshadows as well. Can't think of any that do cream ones, but there definitely are. Please give suggestions below if you know something that is a cheaper alternative. Always do that. If you know a cheaper alternative that works just as well, let everyone know. Share the love. So I'm not being afraid to take this quite high up. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I never do when I'm doing a video. I don't plot anything out. So I don't think it's a very technical look, is it? Shouldn't need to worry too much. These sorts of colours I always like to be quite rounded under the eye, just because that's what I go for. But I'm debating whether I do that too much and it's not as enjoyable for you to watch. But I do think it's a really nice shape with this sort of colour tone. We'll see as we go. I'm then going to go for another Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow palette. This one is in the colour Fawn. Now if you have any eyeshadow palette bases that live in this area and darker, depending on your skin tone, you can swap it out. I wanted eyeshadows that were reasonably matte-ish, maybe a little bit satin. I don't want anything that's too shiny, but these ones are MAC, and this is a palette that I've made myself. I think in there I have got Era, Charcoal Brown, Espresso, but I want to use this Lisa Eldridge Fawn palette because I really like these two tones for this look. So I'm going to start with this one here. And I'm going to take that all over the lid, and this is just going to lighten the colour that I've put on to make it less rich. The reason I'm using this palette is because I think it's a good palette to buy. It's got lots of nice tones in, so you have a variety of colours that are all quite wearable in there. So you have the option of it keeping it nice and red, or you have the option of dulling it down. Next up, I'm going to go in with a darker colour. And normally I'd put this in the corner, but I actually just want to try running this along the lash line. Since I come back from holiday, I had a really upset stomach while I was on holiday, and then Ian got it, and then my daughter got it, and I swear I picked up a parasite, because whenever I eat something, a short time afterwards I get terrible stomach pain, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm going to go and see whether we all picked up something to try and get rid of it. So that's just given me a slight run of colour over the top. I may go back in with all those colours underneath, I'm not sure yet. Next up, I'm going to make it rich with colour again. I've got Costa Riche. And I'm just going to run that along the top lash line. Now this has a beautiful richness and a smudginess for the top of the lash line. But if I want to put that inside the waterline, I need to use something firmer that's not going to move. This will move. It's a kohl pencil, so it has a lot of smudging properties and not as much gripping on. You can get pencils like the Mario one, which smudges a lot, but then it sets, and actually Lisa Eldridge ones does that, and Pat McGrath, but this one kind of smudges and it stays that kind of smudginess. And these were the pencils of the 90s, which is why your eye makeup always looked a little bit dishevelled, which I love, because they would move and they would get kind of waxy over the night, especially if it was Smolder or something like that from MAC. It would just kind of separate, and I love that. Hi darling. Okay, I'm filming. Sorry, I had a quick phone call from my husband. God, I love that man. Right, I'm then swapping brushes, dropping throughout. So I'm taking my Costa Riche, smudging that. Then I'm taking this is a MAC 239, and I'm just smudging the top. Look, none of this is groundbreaking, I know. But that is makeup. It's cold, so this pencil's really draggy. When it's warmer, they glide on so much easier. I'm trying not to wing out too much, because I do that a lot. I'm just smudging that so much that you can't really tell where one finishes and the next begins. I'm then going to go with a bit of Mario pencil. This one is a real true brown. I think it's called true brown actually. No, the perfect brown. I'm just going to take that in my top lid line. I'm going to take a little bit of Rare Beauty powder through my brows. This is in Taupe. I don't know if they still make this product. I really like it and I hope they do, but I have a feeling they don't. It's a clever little product. It comes with a brush. Not only is that not just a brush, it's also a very tiny spoolie. All angles covered. I am going to take the lighter colour. I'm just dusting this over my brows. I'm not trying to make it too sharp at the end, too pointy, too naughties. I just want a little bit of base colour because I don't have any colour. Do you know what I mean? You can see the odd brow, but they're not dense enough. So I'm just making them slightly more dense and full. I think brows are super aging if they're not fuller. But also you can tell what era you're from. You can tell mine were a 90s brow, which they're trying to bring back. No. I think that's a trend that can stay away. Brow gel, come on my faithful Refi. So I add this over the top of the powder to show that there are hairs there and to add a little bit of texture. Otherwise they look too flat. So it's just adding a bit of texture. The colour underneath is to add density. This is to add texture. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of my NYX Lift and Snatch and just can see where I've got little gaps here. I'm just going to draw the odd hair in there just to create a bit more depth. This one is in brunette. It doesn't show too much, but it does enough. I've also got a scar in there from chickenpox. I don't think I'm going to bring this under the eye. I think it's a really nice day look at the moment, even though it's taken me a long time. You could cut this down by not talking. If I take it underneath, it's going to make it more smoky and more night, and I actually think it's a really pretty day look. I'm going to take some lash curlers and just curl my lashes. If it was evening, I would probably put false lashes on, maybe. And I was toying with putting the lashes that go underneath, but if I'm going to wear them, I like to put them on when I've got a few days where I'm not wearing much makeup and I won't be wearing a mascara, because when I take my makeup off, they have to come off and then they're ruined, and I like to wear them for like 5 days. So, mascara. Let's do number 7. This is Lash Impact Ultra. Number 7 do great mascaras. Actually, number 7 do great products all round. I am their makeup ambassador. I should clarify that, but I don't have to talk about them. I really do like their products. Okay, I have just been sent this Bare Minerals concealer. This is Bare Pro 16 Hour All Over Skin Perfecting Matte Concealer. Mineral SPF 25 PA+++. Don't know how I feel about it. It's very yellow as well, but I quite like a yellow tone under my eyes, so I'm going to pop it under my eyes. Ooh, she looks light. Once blended, it will be fine. It blends quite nice, doesn't it? I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that here, 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 here. These are the areas I like to pop out a little bit. Here to make my jaw look wider. Here to make my chin look further forward. A little bit here and here. A little bit of drinking milk. I have been sent Pinpoint Concealer from Lisa Eldridge, which is a pencil concealer texture. MAC have done one for a while, but it is really, really lovely. It's more creamy than the MAC one. The MAC one sits quite powdery on the skin. Lisa Eldridge do a waterline one. That's too creamy, but also the wrong tone for skin, whereas she's done lots of tones in this, so I like it. And I'm just going to use that on my little blemish. And it just makes it disappear. I'm going to use it a little bit here. To give me a wing, but not with a dark colour. And I'm going to take that in my top waterline. You just use it on the end of a blemish. You know, like when you get one, it's just so persistent and you can't get rid of it. You just pop a little dip of that, a little dot of that, and then use your finger and then build and then use again. Okay, I'm going to use this from Glossier, which is Cloud Paint in Swept. I used this in a video that I did with my daughter yesterday. I really liked it. So I'm going to take that, and I thought this was going to be a contour colour, but it's actually quite a nice lift colour. So I'm going to pop that on the top of my cheeks. Unleash that spot again. I can recover it. I'm going to take a little bit of number 7 blusher in Honey and just pop that on the apples of my cheeks, because I still want it to be flat. The makeup, like I said earlier, I wanted it to be like a porcelain doll. Gentle over my blemish. Push rather than wipe. Now I've got loads of lip liners. Chestnut would be perfect, but I don't have that one. That's a MAC lip liner. I have got Lisa Eldridge. This is N1. This is N0. N0 is a colour that I really like, but it's not quite right for this. So I'm thinking maybe N1 would be best. Is that the right one? Let's try N1. So this one is N1N, not N1, 1N. It's such a creamy lip liner that we can colour most of the lip in with that, but we're not finished. I'm going to take a little bit of my concealer, pop it on the back of my hand, and we're going to pop that in the middle. If you were out clubbing in the 2000s, this was the thing we did. Actually, I didn't really do it much. I had a favourite lipstick from MAC, either Myth or Hue, but my friend Amy would go to the toilet and she would lip line her lip with Strip Down, and then she would get concealer and kind of with her finger just put it all over. And there was so much concealer on her lips. She looked amazing, don't get me wrong. And then she would have a big brush, like a big bronzer brush, bigger than this, and a hoola, and she would jam it in and she'd just cover her whole face in it. And the brush was so battered. But it just reminds me of fun times so much. So, a little bit of concealer on the lips to make them look dry. Back in my lip liner so it kind of staggers the colour. I also have a Pat McGrath Super Natural lip liner, which I might use around the outside. It's a little bit darker. Let's see. Have you ever looked really closely at how much JLo overlines her lips? It's quite remarkable, but they look so good. And we could absolutely leave it like that and it would be divine. Or we can put a little bit of lip gloss in the middle. I kind of like it like this because it's so matte. I'm going to put some mascara on my bottom lashes. Just a touch. Just going to run my dry concealer brush just here, just to lift, because my cheeks look a bit low. Should we put a gloss in the middle? This is another Lisa Eldridge product. This is a Fair. I really like it like this, but we're going to do it just because it's quite mocha, isn't it? You can leave it how it was, kind of taking the concealer away, but it is quite a mocha colour. That's it. That's all I have. I have a little hat that I would wear. This is by Clyde. And there you have the finished look. If you have any looks you want me to do, please let me know. This was a requested look. If there was anyone at the Golden Globes that you loved, I really liked Salma Hayek. I really liked Zoe Kravitz's makeup. So if there was anything that you were like, oh my God, I really liked that one, let me know below so that I can do them for you. Yeah, I will list everything below. If I remember, I'll leave it out so I do. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, evening, whatever you're up to. And I will see you next time.